Alright, course creators, welcome back to CourseCreatorHandbook.com. I'm your host Amit, and today we are going to continue our Trello video series, and this is part 2. Or if you haven't seen part 1 yet, I'd suggest you go check it out. So in part 2, I'm going to pick up where we left off, which was so we covered a bunch of basic stuff here. Moving cards, adding checklists, adding stickers, adding attachments. Now what I want to do is finish the rest of the menu and also show you how to create a theme. So we covered this part right here. Now I want to click on more and show you what else we have here. You can go into settings. You can change the theme if you wanted to. I can click on change theme and pick a theme if I wanted to, but I don't want to pick a theme yet because I want to show you how to create a theme. So we'll come back to that. Card cover images enabled. I want to show you what this means. So let's go over this. Card cover images enabled. If I was to add an image on this card, first of all, let me get rid of this sticker. And let's say I go into this card. Let me go into Unsplash. And I'm just going to pick any image added to that card because I want to show you what it does. So let's pick this image. I'm going to download it. I'm also going to copy the link of it and show you both ways. So the first way you can add an image is you can just paste the link right here and hit attach, and that shows up here. Or you can click on attachment, go to your computer. I'm going to go to downloads and put this image here. Now it's uploading. Once that image is uploaded, you will see what I mean by, if we go back to our menu, go back to the main front menu, click on more, click on settings. Right now card cover images are enabled, which means you'll see an image on the cover of the card. If I disable it, this cover image, you won't see it show images on front of card. So let's say I go in here, add that same image again. It shouldn't show up. Let's see if that works. So it's still uploading. Let me see. Okay, this is done. You'll see that it did not show up as the face of your card. Now if you already see an image, what you can do is click onto your card and you'll go, where is that image? Right here. So this is the one you see in the front of the card. I think there was a way to remove it. I don't want to delete it. Let me just refresh this page and see if that works. Okay, that worked. If you were seeing the image, you can refresh your page. That works. Another thing you can do is, if I go and disable that set or enable that setting again, refresh my page, I'll see these card cover images. What I can do is I can click in here and click on remove cover. That way that particular image will not show up as a cover. You can still have, so let's say you have 5, 10, 15 different images in your card as attachments. You only want one of them to show up as the cover image. You can pick which one you want to show as cover image. So let me show you what I mean by that. Let me add another image in here. Let's add this one and close this out. I can make this as a cover image here and make this as a cover image here. So now I have two separate images. I'm just going to remove them, or I'll leave this one. So that was what this menu meant when you select card cover images enabled. The next one is commenting permissions. You want to see, you can restrict who comments on your cards. I just leave it to members. If someone is a member of your board, they should be able to they should be able to comment on your card. Next is add remove permissions. You can see who can add people to your board. This one I usually leave to admins only, which means if someone is an admin on the board, they have the authority to add more people to your cards or to your boards. But not all members have the ability to add other people to your board. So I'll leave that, and then let's go back here. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Labels, we already covered labels on the card in our first video, but if you haven't looked at it, go back and check it out. This is how labels work. The next one is collections. This is something that's not available on the free plan, so there's no use getting into it. Archived items, if you have archived something, you'll be able to see it here. Let's say I archive this one right here. How you archive is you just simply click this little pencil and click on archive. I use the shortcut, keyboard shortcut C, letter C, and that will let you archive it. Now if I go back here, you'll see something was archived. I can either send it to board, send it back to where it was, or I could have deleted it. So that's archive. Next is email to board settings. This is pretty cool. I'm going to show you how this works. So every board has an email, just like every card has an email. So I showed you card emails, how that work in part 1. In this part, I'm going to show you how board email works. So your board's email address is this. I'm going to copy this, and now what Trello is asking you is your email cards will appear where. So I'm going to create a new list here called email cards. Now this could work great if you have maybe a VA that's using Trello and you just want to shoot them instructions right from your inbox. I know some of the bigger guys do this, James Schramko, Brian Harris, some of these bigger names are doing it, even John Lee Dumas, Amy Porterfield. And it works great when you have a VA and you don't want to log into your Trello board, but you want to give them instructions in a way which is standardized, like a standard operating procedure, so you're not just shooting emails back and forth. A lot of people use Slack for that too. So what you can do is, let's go back to our setting here, email to board settings. Trello is asking your email card should appear where. I'm going to say in this list which we just created called email cards, and it should always be on the top position. And that's it. That's how it works. Now let me show you what happens if I go to my Gmail, compose a new email, and I'm going to put that email address that I copied, which is the email address for the board. I'm going to type in a subject. This is a test at, I forget my username, and now I can just, once I hit the send button, this anything that you put with a hashtag or a pound sign is the label of the card, so it'll automatically label the card. So I can just put test. So it'll create a label called test. I'm just going to actually rename this to done. Actually not done. Now because not done is 2 words, I cannot put the space in between, or Trello will just create a new label called not. It has to have continuous spaces. You can put an underscore, or you can put it like this. I'll put an underscore, and when you put an @ and your team member's name, the card will be created and it'll automatically be assigned to that team member. And let's say we are saying in this, hey Amit, can you please finish this task ASAP, see attached for instructions. I'm gonna paste the YouTube link in here too, and I'm gonna attach something in here as well. Let's go to desktop, let's put this picture in here, and now we can hit send. So what's going to happen in Trello now is a card is going to be created in here. It again takes a few seconds for the email to enter the webosphere and enter the interwebs and show up in Trello, but it does happen pretty quickly. So that was email to board. Just like we subscribe to a card, we can subscribe to a board, and then any activity that happens on that board, you will be getting alerts for it. You can copy this board if you wanted to. You can print and export it if you wanted to. I'm not going to do that. And you can close this board if you wanted to. And then here's the link to your board, which is again private. So let's go ahead and make a team while we wait for that email to appear. Actually, we don't have to wait for it. So here's that image that I had put in there, which showed up as a card cover image. This is a test at Amit. And because I had put after the test, I had put let's go to my sent email. I had put the label not done right here. So if we see here, the not done label is here, and then Here's that YouTube link that I had put in here, and here's that attachment that I had done. Pretty awesome, right? So that's how this works. And now let's look at the rest of the menu items. So that, I think that was it for our menu here. We can get into power ups now. So on your free account, you only get one power up, and I would say choose wisely. The one that I like to use the most, let me see if I can find it in here, is the calendar power up. So if I click on enabling this, what that does is now I have a calendar here, and I can look at my cards in a calendar format, see which one is due when. So it'll only show up if it has a due date. I'm going to close this out for a second, put in a bunch of due dates right here. So let's put the 10th here. Let's do this, and you can just hit escape on your keyboard to X out. Once you hit save, this is all cloud based, so as you're doing things, Trello is saving them, and you don't have to always hit the save button. So I have a bunch of due dates now. Now I can look at the calendar to see when things are due. So if I just hit the calendar now, you will see a bunch of cards show up here and when their due dates are, which is awesome. So I like that feature. The other thing you can do is you can sync this up with your Google Calendar. And how that works is if I go into my Gmail, let me just get the link, more link to this board. I think this is how it works. Let me see if we can figure this out. I go to my Google Calendar, and then you go to add a new calendar. So on the left here you see other calendars. You can just click on this, add by URL, and paste that Trello board URL. You can hit add calendar, and I think that's how it works. From what I remember doing it last time. Yep, importing card calendar. So all those cards not contain okay, maybe that's not how it works. Let me see. Email to board settings, that's not it. So there is a way how you can import this calendar. I can't remember it now. I'll have to look it up and put it in the next video. I apologize. So let's move on to the next one, is teams. How can you create teams and add other people to your board? So what you can do is if you click this plus button here, you can create a personal team. You obviously can't create a business team without having a business plan, but you can create a personal team here. And let's give this a name, Trello project. Will be responsible for creating the Trello course. Hit create, and now you can have a bunch of so this brings you to the team profile. So the first thing I want to do is edit the team profile. You can leave the team name, the short name is fine, website, this is the description. You can change that if you want. So that's how you would edit all of that. I usually like to put an image in there if I have one, and then you just hit save. One of those very few places where you do have to hit save. Next is members. This is where you would invite members to your board, and how you can do that is you can just add them by name or email. So let's just say if I put Amit at, or I can put course creator handbook at gmail.com. I can do it that way, which I am already part of the board, so it'll show you that this person has already joined. So I can do my other one, which is my Gmail account with a typo, and then I can just hit the send message, and now that person has received a invite to join my Trello board. So they haven't confirmed it yet, that's why it says unconfirmed. Let's go into my Gmail account, go into my inbox, and show you what it looks like. Sometimes it goes into promotions, or it will maybe go into social, or maybe I just haven't received that email yet. Nope, I haven't received it yet. Once I receive it, I can show you guys how it looks like. But basically, you'll get that email, asking you if you want to join this board once you send someone an invite to join. So that's how that works. You can keep adding people. You can search for members that might already be in Trello. So if I just search for Amit Arora, I will find a bunch of Amits, or let me just search by this. So you can see people already in Trello. Let's search for my wife. And no one by that name exists. So you can do that in here. Also, you can do the same thing. So if I just search for her here, no results found, then I can invite them by either giving them a special link or by adding the email, which we just did. You can bulk add members. You can simply copy paste a bunch of emails, separate them by a separator. In this case, it's going to be a semicolon, and that's how you add people. And then once you have added people, you can change their roles from admin to normal or whatever. And then the next part in settings is you can change this team's visibility, which is important, from private to public, and that's how the rest of the team will be able to interact. You can still leave it private. I just like to change it to public. So it tells you the descriptions here, what is a private team and what is a public team. A lot of companies, like the newer SaaS companies, have started creating their own Trello boards, which they use as a product roadmap and also feature requests. And they will have a button on their website. Hey, if you have a feature request, click here. It'll take you to their Trello board, and on that Trello board, you can put in your feature requests. So if you had a Slack team, you can add that Slack team to your Trello board. I don't have Slack. I have tried to use it. I haven't had success understanding it. I'll try my best to understand it. And then here's the third option, which is team visible boards. That's only for people who have business class of Trello. And then finally, business class tells you what else you get in business class. It's $12.50 per month per member. I don't think I want to pay that, so I'm okay with the free version. So that was how you would add people to your board. Let's go and look at some of the. Let me go back to the board here, and let's see what other power-ups they have that I can show you. So calendar is the one that I've used. I haven't used all of the power-ups. They keep adding new ones. This is another one, which is Butler. It's their AI, which is artificial intelligence system. So it's a bot that kind of understands your patterns and then makes recommendation based on that. And you can also customize the bot to do something like, if a due date is passed, automatically mark that card done and automatically assign a label to that card, something called done as a label. So you can program those commands in Butler. It's pretty cool. Play around with it, see what you think about it. I haven't used Appear in Asana. I haven't used Automate by Zapier. No. Box I haven't used. Other than calendar, I haven't really used any of the other power-ups because I haven't needed to use them. But you can go through these, see how they work, see if that's something you like, and if you do, feel free to use them. So let me just see here if there was. So there's another thing that I want to show you here. Let's say you start typing. For this one, I'm going to jump off to my bigger board here. Let's say I wanted to put something in this list right here, which is HR. I start typing it. Let's say here, I want to add this to the list, but I realized this isn't where I wanted to type it. I wanted to type it in HR. So this is something really simple, and maybe you won't need it, but instead of finishing the typing and then moving this over to HR, what I can do is just leave it as is. I realized it was in the wrong list. Go to HR, click in here, and that automatically jumps from there to here, which is so cool. And now I can hit enter, and now it's saved here. If I go into my original one right here, it's not there, but it's in HR. So that's how that feature works. It's pretty cool, right? And then on top here, there are a few more features you can use. Let me go back to our smaller board. You can star this board so that it becomes a favorite, which means anytime you click on boards, you will see your starred boards here. all your starred boards will show up here. I'm going to uncheck this one. So that's how this starring works, and you can change the visibility to either team, public, or private. I'm going to change it to team now that you know how to create a team, and I'm going to make this board visible to the team, allow any team members to join this board. Yep, that sounds good. So that's how you change the visibility of your board. I'm going to unsubscribe from this board. I don't want to receive notifications. And then all your notifications will be in this little bell icon here. Right now I don't have any notifications. If I go back to my bigger one, you will see all the notifications that happen. You'd be able to see them right here. If you are subscribed to the board. If you're not subscribed to the board, or if no one is mentioning you, you won't see those notifications. So that's how the notifications part works. This is your, if you click on your name, you can see all the cards that are assigned to you, but right now we don't have any. You can go into settings, change your name, initials, biodata, whatnot, username. You can change your avatar, which is your image if you wanted to, password, language, and then also credentials, which is your email address. You can change that if you want. You can change the notification email frequency whenever you if you want to be notified for every time someone mentions you, you can do that. You can change it to periodically or never. You can allow desktop notifications, which I usually allow, so that anytime you can have Trello open in the background on one of the tabs, someone does something and you want to get notified. That's awesome. And then you'll be able to see what IP addresses people are logging in from. You can enable two-factor authentication if you wanted to, and you can even delete your account permanently if you wanted to. So those are some of the things you can do in settings. Then there's shortcuts. This is where I have learned some of the shortcuts. You can change language, and in help you'll be able to see a lot more what Trello can do. So that's it for this part. I'm going to look into the card calendar thing. I'm going to make a third shorter video on how that works, how you can connect your Gmail calendar with your Trello so that you can sync the two and see all your Trello cards in your Gmail calendar. So I'm going to make a shorter video for that. Thank you again for sticking around, watching this part 2 of our 3-part series, Trello, how to use Trello for course outline and course management. And again, if you like the video, hit like, hit subscribe, and I will see you on the flip side. Take care.